Hello all, King Joe, Comic Haul again, unboxing video. We'll see what I got. I got 2 boxes in the mail. I'm just going to put these, the one's pretty badly beat up. My X-Acto knife. I decided to pull that out of the garage. From my last video, I had just so much stuff. Okay. Another year of Playboy. 2005, which I'll show on the next video. And let's get this box up here. Probably another Playboy, because I pretty much, the guy who I ordered 200 and some plus books got to me yesterday. He said, oh, there was an emergency. No, I ordered them. It's going to be 10 days. And the guy sent me a message. There was a family emergency. He couldn't mail them out on Saturday. I'm like, well, okay, well, last time I looked, there's more than 1 day a week you can go to the post office and mail. Another year of Playboy. (2004). And I'm not too thrilled with how this guy packed this stuff, but what am I gonna do? Okay, well, back to my story. The guy said that, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm trying not to get worked up over stuff anymore, because all it's gonna do is give me a heart attack. Because I think you guys who've been watching me from day one know that I got high blood pressure. I got cholesterol. Since my back blew out, I gained weight. And along with weight comes with all the happy, fun stuff that you have to put up with. So, it's one of these things where, just got to live it and try to get by with it. And try to do stuff. I'm a little bit depressed today because last night I got home from my daughter she wanted to go to this NAM, this is the North American Miss Pageant thing. They sent her a letter. And I said, you want to try to do a pageant? She's like, yeah. So last night we went, and it's one of these things that's funny because I sat through this thing it was supposed to be, it started 6:45. Well, we didn't get out, and then we ended up going to Sonic, and I ain't too thrilled with Sonic's food. Their chili cheese fries suck. If I had a Jake's chili cheese fries, I like Wendy's better, but I tell you, Smash Burgers, when I went to New Jersey, they had the best. Of course, their burger wasn't good. I still like Wendy's Baconator the best. But I get home, and I go on YouTube, and I saw the Great Legend had a show, and it said Leave of Absence, so I watched it. And I got very depressed. I like R. Dowdy. He's one of the guys on there, his energy and positiveness exudes in him when he does his show, Coming to you live, you can't go wrong. I mean, now see, I'm getting goosebumps because last night I almost cried when he was talking about it. And it is hard to when people give you a thumbs down, you're like, what did I do wrong? Like, when I first started with the window, one of the guys gave me a thumbs, but he also commented why. He said I shouldn't have higher light behind the foreground because it darkens well. I understood that, so I understood that pretty good. I still do it though because I really have nowhere to work around here. Eventually, when everything gets squared away, I'll have room. But I got very depressed watching this show because he spoke the truth. This community, I love Hippie, Hitman Von Doom, Spiro, Greco. I like the Costa, Mr. Fix a Smash. Gary, even though Gary and Kirsten Man haven't talked to me in a while, those guys. Why Not Art? My buddy, Optimus Tron. I've been, ETA Nick. It's one of these things where it totally undermines the whole community when you got one person or a few. It's the truth though. It's like that one bad, those bad apples. Oh, my little one's down here because last night we didn't get home till about almost 11 o'clock at night. So my little one stayed home from school today. I forgot all about Anthony's photo. I could have gave him his photo yesterday too when I
What photo?
That 3D Spider-Man photo he left here. I was going to trade, but then I looked at it and I'm like, I don't like it. It bummed me out really bad. And I mailed your package out, Greco Fabulous. So if you watch this, you know yours. I have to send you a message with the tracker number. My little one enjoyed Chiller, which we all know that, right, little one?
Yeah, 'cause I got the moonstone.
You bought a crystal. It wasn't a moonstone, it was a crystal. Solid First Bend has a contest. Congratulations. I sent him 2 questions. As you know, my 150 sub contest is running. I'm up to 200 subs, and I said that when I hit 250, I was going to do a 250 sub contest. And the rate I'm going, hopefully the next month, it'll be funny because it'd probably work out pretty good. I probably if the rate it's going with how I'm picking up subscribers, when my contest for the 151 ends, I'll be starting at 251. And I plan to make that on the order of my 100 subscribers, make a massive prize, and see if somebody can win it. I don't plan on making it as hard as my 100 subscribers, but close to it. Because my whole thing is to make you guys think, to be prepared. I want to know everybody out there who is affiliated. I'm amazed at some of them, and I'm happy my Spiro loved his package. It's funny because the one guy said, why... The man sent me the first Deadpool issue. He didn't think it was in that. I thought it was a thing. So I sent him. He says he owes me. Well, if he owes me, he owes me. If that's what, I figure, I'm going to mail him a package to New Zealand. I'm like, why, sit around and I have stuff that he needs. Since I'm mailing it, why incur double shipping charges if I do trades with him in the future? I went through all the stuff I had that I thought he would, I went through all the Animal Mans. I had those Animal Man issues. I only had one ROM issue he needed. So I sent him that. Then I went through Star Wars, and I was trying to find some Star Wars books that I had that were in better shape, so I sent him the ones that I thought were in better shape, and I sent them. I figured, why not? I'm not going to, ship them a couple of them and then have to ship later if I do a trade with them. I figured just get them all over in one shot. And I'm glad you love it. And it was funny because when this year in Chiller, he loves Ken Kelly. He has the Man of War poster behind him. And Chiller's already scheduled for October, the end of October this year, I think the 24th to the 26th or whatever. I have to look at the website. And my buddy Lou already sent me a message, who's going? And I'm like, well, I probably will go. Lexi said she'd go with me again. This past Chiller, my buddy Al was actually on Mike and Ming's podcast. And my buddy Anthony caught a clip, and I guess he was talking about me. Because he said, my friend Joe just bought a house. Well, I guess not my friend Joe. He just said, bought a house part and has tons of stuff. And the guy, then all of a sudden, Mike goes, oh, Shrunken Heads 2 and Chicken Bones. And then my buddy Al said something about, he's got Chicken Bones, which I probably do have a set of Chicken Bones because you can play them. They're a musical instrument. Because I actually watched a guy play Chicken Bones the one time at a lounge, and the man was good. He was like, I saw a guy play spoons. I mean, amazing. You have to keep an open mind. If you have a closed, narrow mind in society, there's going to be problems. You can't. Of course, there's stuff I don't like, but I still try it. There's some food I will never try. I lived overseas for 5 years. I grew up, my dad worked for the government, and he transplanted me from my hometown of Wolforge. We went to Esslingen, Germany. Spent 5 years there, and I actually think that was the best thing that ever happened to me because it opened it was funny because when I moved over there, most of the kids were like from bigger areas, and I was always considered a hick. And eventually, I learned to just deal with it. Even though I didn't really have a lot of friends over the years, I played video games and watched movies like mad. Because when we lived overseas, we didn't have the Armed Forces Network the first 3 years. So I had the Atari 2600, a Commodore 64 computer, and a big VHS cassette recorder. It was like this, probably weighed about 100 and some pounds. I had it loaded from the top. And when you hit the button, it was like, I mean, it can launch a guy like 5 feet in the air. It's like super spring. But I come back after the 5 years. My dad had a choice either to go again, which we'd be moving every 3 to 5 years, and my dad was like, no. My mom wanted to come back home to her family. So we come back, and you're talking about cyberbullying. I come back to the same town, and all the friends that I had before I left, a lot of them didn't want to talk to me. I was a communist. I was a Nazi, and I'm like, my dad worked for the government, and it made me realize just how closed and narrow-minded people are, or how self-absorbed they could be. Even family-wise, I look at it back from when I was a kid and think about how my family was, how things were back when we didn't have all this technology supposed to bring us closer, which I actually think it alienates us more. Because kids ain't as close to their families as they used to be. I have all kinds of bizarre opinions, like when they took, church and state, the Pledge of Allegiance. There's no morality taught in school. Kids grow up, hooray for me, to hell with you. I always said that we're on this earth a limited time. We should make things better for the next generation. I love R. Dowd. He does a lot of stuff with his kids. I think he's a great family man. I'm glad he let me be friends on Facebook with him. I look at his wife, shows a lot of pictures. I was like, I love his one Pac-Man shirt. He with the Usual Suspects that has the 4 ghosts for Pac-Man. I love that. I look at a lot of. They're our future, man. And it's sad that our comic community, the kids who are doing this to us, who are making it, nobody's gonna like everything you like. Nobody's gonna. Everybody's different, man. That's why they used to call America the Great Melting Pot, because everybody would come and they made America. Well, I call America now the Great Buffet because we're more divided. We're not a melting pot. And that has to do with this hooray for me to hell with you attitude and this I don't like you because of this and I'm going to push you around. There's enough hate in the world, man. It bums me the hell out that our daddy has to take a leave of absence because of cyberbullying. Hippie went through it, and Hippie's a great guy. I mean, I got a lot of love for some of the guys out there, and I don't really show, because I sometimes, slam, like, I slam the comic community because I don't think, well, what bothered me was, I'm glad I didn't go on the Mike and Ming show, because I would have lambasted them, because they're in a point. We all bitch about the price of comic books and the fact that a lot of kids ain't getting into. They're in a position to change, and they don't care. And that's what bothers me about a lot of this stuff. A lot of people just don't care. They can get their stuff, so whoopee. I can care less if some other kid can't get it, or another collector. Whoopee. I look at my little one and I think, man, she's not going to have the same enjoyment I did out of it. Yeah, she'll get my stuff, but it's not the same because she.
Are you talking about me?
Yes, I'm talking about you. She won't be able to go to the store like I did with money she earned, because they really don't make a lot of books for her. Yeah, she'll be able to buy a few issues, but she ain't going to be able to collect like I did until she gets in her teenage years. I'm bouncing back and forth for stuff because I'm like disgusted because the community's being ruined, comic books are being ruined, and it's just disheartening. I joined this community a year ago because Optimus Prime, and I'm glad I did. I met, I get to, well, I don't really say I haven't really met, but I've talked and communicated with a bunch of people on this community. And, I really enjoy it. I would have never met ETA. I would have never met Nick. I would have never met Gary. I would have never met Tom, Ben, Rob, Tony. It's one of these things where you go to a comic book. It's like I go to the comic book show and I tell them nobody wants to bother. It's like, yeah, whatever. You guys actually want to. You want to share your stories. You want to be friends with other collectors. You want to trade. There's trades going on. I go to the comic book store. The guys tell me, yeah, I'll come over. I need some card sets. Well, I have them. I've been waiting now for 2 months for the guy from the comic book shop to come and check out my cards to see. I told him I sell them to him at a decent price. I even told him I trade him comic books for cards, price for price. It's one of these things, Technology's great, but I tell you, I wonder if it really hurts in the long run. It desensitizes people. I believe it, because it doesn't take much to put down hateful stuff and send it, and doesn't even think twice about it. That's my opinion, guys. I love this community. It's really weird because last night I actually cried when I read Ardotti's thing. I actually teared up. Like, I teared up now, but it really bummed me the hell out. Because I love when I first flip on his thing and he goes, "Coming at you." I mean, it's just like, it's like, that's his moniker. And I always do it on my, because he is. I actually think he's one of the best podcasts, because I watched a couple of his podcasts. Usually never live. I always watch it to reruns, because so far live, I've watched two of your shows live so far. I watched Ben, Captain Cummings, I guess it was the Incredible CJ, Oddfellow Thought, no, not Oddfellow Thought, Sleeper, I don't even know, because I can't remember half the guys, but it was 5 of them on, and I really enjoyed that, and I even said they were better than Comic Book Ben, and Hippie was watching the same thing, and we were discussing that. And then I watched Moms Read Comics. Really wasn't too thrilled with them, but it was something. It was like, they were better than Comic Book Men. They had their own opinions, and I actually, they were going to Comic-Con, they were getting dressed up, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wow. I was thinking something, it's sad that these people here do a better show than Comic Book Men. Hell, I think every one of us does a better show than Comic Book Men. At least we learn from each other, we experience, we get to know the person as the person. You don't really get to know the people in Comic Book Men. All you know is they make DICKs out of each other. They make fun of each other. To me, yeah, you could do that, joke around like me and Al, but you get to know us, watching us interact. I just wish my friends lived closer, because I actually love them here. They ask me bloody questions. They make me think, and it's all hard because I haven't thought about this stuff in a long time. I probably said some stuff wrong over the past year trying to remember. That's why when I get my stuff set up, I'm going to reread all my books. I'll probably be like every week doing a review on probably back issues like galore, because I can't remember half my Green Lantern stories, and that's funny because Green Lantern's my favorite thing. Favorite hero. I can't remember half of them, and I'm sure it's the same thing with every one of us. You don't remember everything you ever read. If you did, you have one hell of a brain, boys and girls. Because the human, I think they said a person only retains 40%. So I'm actually thinking, hey, well, that's a little bit high, because I can't remember there was 225 issues of Green Lantern. I think I'm lucky if I can remember, 50 of those issues, if I'm lucky. Um, yeah, but back to the thing. R. Dowdy, I don't want you to go. I say shaft them. I like what Captain put down on his thing about F you guys. As when I when I get nasty and I see if it's a woman cyberbullying people, I can't spell it to my I go I can't spell anything anymore because my little one's a little bit too smart. So I what you call it? Wasn't it hyphenated? Where you do like C unt. I do that so she can't figure out. Syllabalizing. I syllabalize my words now. But I sort of like, throw a little accent on it. So when I said that, my little one goes, "Oh, stunt!" So I'm like, "Yeah, stunt." So the other day, the lady was going, she yelled, "Stunt!" And I'm like, "That's good. At least she ain't cursing." And nobody has a clue what she's talking about. Well, you guys do know, but yeah, I gotta quit using that word. My wife hates it, and I know almost every woman hates it. It's funny, us guys, we have no problem throwing it around. We have no problem using any other word in the book. My wife calls me a PR ick every once in a while. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't faze me. I've been called worse. Oh, God, I don't even want to think about nicknames, but yeah, I've been bullied. I grew up being bullied. At first, like I said, moved overseas, boom, there was that. Second, come back, I was a communist and a Nazi. I'm not even going back to my high school reunion. It's funny when on Facebook when the shootings happened in the school, all the girls, I still, believe it or not, I'm friends on Facebook with, I don't even know why, but I am. They want, they send friend messages, or I send friend messages just so I can find out what some of the kids are doing. And some of the girls in my class were like, "Oh, stop." And I'm like, where was this attitude when I was getting made fun of and I was getting thrown up against the locker because I wouldn't shake the class president's hand? And he was one of the ones that was giving me grief for 2 years when I was back. Of course, I never shook his hand at graduation. I walked down, and it's funny because you can see the videotape of me coming down the stairs, and he puts his hands up, and I go, "Go F yourself." And I walk right by him. And I'm like, afterwards, he comes up and I said, "Oh, you're going to beat me up? Go ahead." I said, "We're graduated now." I said, "You touch me, I'll sue you for assault." I said, "I'm tired of putting up with the bull crap." Our school did nothing about it. I used to walk the hallways, people would be screaming about my car accident, yelling, class day, right? When we moved back, my dad had a BMW, and that's the car I smashed. They gave me the BMW. They thought it was funny. I didn't think it was funny. I broke both my legs and went through hell because all the guys in my car, just money grubbers, came up with their own. It's not what happened. I was sued. Found out who my friends were, which I didn't have no friends back then. Learned a valuable lesson that your family is your friend. Your mother and your father. And I'm glad I had the mother and father I did. My dad's still alive. To this day, I would trade everything I own to have my mom back. But I know how it is in bullying, and you can't give it to them. You gotta look at them. You gotta get right up and come on, punch me. Come on, swing. Makes you feel better. Beat the living crap out of me. Because it ain't gonna make you feel better. Because every day you look in the mirror when you brush your teeth or you comb your hair, you gotta look in that face and sit there and say, "You know what? There's something wrong with me for doing this." Like when I don't agree with something, I'll usually post it on something. That's the thing about it. None of us are going to agree on everything. None of us are going to, I say, I sit there and I tell Anthony, I go, I got grief the other day because of I was wearing a win-loser tie. I'll be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan to the day I die. Sure. And I got upset on some Steeler guys from James Harrison went to Cincinnati. And some of the comments they posted were nasty. Made me sick. Like I said, there's enough hate in the world. And R. Dowdy, I love you for loving everybody. And I love this community. I keep saying it. So, there's my unboxing video to play some thoughts. I just want to give R. Dowdy my love, my support. I want to give my community this, my support. And the king is out. Love you guys. Bye.